Hello, everybody. This is Eid, Ego, and Superego. I am Ego, and today we have Eid. Say hi, Eid.
Hi. Oh yeah, that's me. That's me.
Okay, and we
Oh
have
hi.
wow. Okay, and we have Superego.
That's me. Hi.
And for those of you who are just watching, this was the third time that we tried to do this video, but we kept on screwing up for dumb reasons.
Yes, but it's working now, which is what matters,
Yes.
isn't it?
So today we are going to talk about one of the most boring subjects alive, but I hope you enjoy it because if you don't, you're an uncultured swine. We're going to talk about
Hey,
museums.
I beg to differ. I think everybody can find a museum they like. Because I was going to say this last episode, but I didn't get the time to. But there's museums for everything. Like, there's museums of chocolate in Belgium. Then there's the Smithsonian museums in the US, which go through, I don't know, aeronautics, biology, and whatever. Personally, the Air and Space Museum baffled me. I loved it. But
Oh
I think
yeah.
there's a museum for everyone. Like, I'm pretty sure there's like drag queen museums or whatever. Everything you can think of.
Like I
Was
mean,
that targeted to me?
what?
Yes, it was. Because you said you didn't like museums.
Wait, what?
I'm not gonna like a museum.
Wait.
Okay.
I'm confused. Why would you target drag queens to Eid? Why does he care about that?
Watches, you
Just
watch
because I
RuPaul, don't you?
watched RuPaul's Drag Race.
Oh yeah,
I'm pretty
right.
sure you're not forced to watch it. I was forced to watch one season, by the way.
What?
Jesus,
You
Who
deserve that.
forced you to watch it?
why would I deserve that? I mean, it was enjoyable enough. Yes, not my cup of
It's pretty
tea.
funny.
Yeah,
But
it's all right.
who forced you to watch it?
My gay friend in Mexico. That's a story for another day. The point is, there's a museum for every kind of person.
Do
Which
you
is
know
what's the best thing
the
about
talking about every type of museum there is? You know the Madame Tussauds Museum of Wax?
Oh God.
wax figures. They're so
Yeah.
disturbed me, man.
I know I
So
like him.
small.
I like him. But you know what's really funny when like celebrities do the those videos where they pretend to be a wax figure but they're not. So they just stand there and people are like, "What the fuck?"
Ah.
Those are cool. But you know what the thing is? I really am, how can you call it? Unsettled by wax museums. And I also don't get their point. Like, I get the point of, I don't know, someone going to like a golf museum or whatever. I find golf unbearable. But a wax museum, you see interpretations of people, and they're just like
I think it's pretty
waxing.
lame.
Like,
I mean,
it's kind of lame. Yeah.
I mean, Nico,
The worst part is,
I'm
yeah.
not gonna say I like wax museums because I honestly really dislike them, but I'm gonna use my previous argument that the whole purpose of the Natural History Museum in New York isn't necessarily it's to educate and to show stuff. So I don't know. I personally have never been in the wax museum, so for all I know, they probably have like a bio of every single person who they have represented in wax. Because if that's the case, then I guess it would count as a museum.
Where's the education in seeing, I don't know, a recreation of Queen Elizabeth made out of wax? Because I think the worst part of
The
the wax
original one
museum,
already smells like wax. Why would you need another one?
she probably smells like, I don't know, mustard gas, just fucking ancient.
Jesus.
Anyway,
Oh.
probably still has a trench.
Wait, although now you're talking about all this like different stuff about museums and all that. I have like a weird example. It's not a museum, but it's a zoo. Which actually this came from a Netflix series called The Tiger King. I don't know if you guys have watched it.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah. So for anybody who
Seems
doesn't know, it's about
really.
this guy who, if I'm not mistaken, he lives in Oklahoma and he owns like 200 big cats, as in he owns tigers, some lions, and a bunch of other stuff. And the thing is that one justification that he does towards the idea that he should remain open and the government should not shut him down and that kind of stuff is that
Yeah.
by allowing like a family and like groups of people to pose with like cute little tiger cubs and like to pet them and all that, he said that you get like 15 uninterrupted minutes where the person will give you your full attention and you're able to tell them all different problems about the fact that these like beautiful big cats are being hunted down.
You know, I'd
And
like to say something real quick. I just know a little bit about that guy because I think he what's the name? He presented himself as a candidate for the Libertarian Party in whatever state he's in.
for real?
And personally, I don't like getting much into politics, especially not on a podcast, but I'm very libertarian, right? We both, I mean, we all know that. I always talk about it. Sorry
Yeah,
about
yeah.
that. But it's kind of weird that the first famous representative we get in the 21st century is this, like, I'm sorry, but kind of crackhead looking guy who has tigers. It's super cool that he has tigers, but it's just, I guess it's the same effect Trump had. It's such a, like, outlandish character, he's bound to stand out. And I
That's
guess
how
that's
I
why.
picture. That's how I picture libertarians.
Thank you. Do I ever look like a cheap stripper, Fred? I don't think so. Come on.
You look like a little bit of a pot smoker. Yeah.
Pot smoker?
No,
Yeah.
no, 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 no,
Oh,
no.
wait. Fred, you just gave me an amazing memory. There's this one song called
Of when you
Dope
smoke
Smoker.
green, no, it's okay.
That's a story for another day. There's a song called Dope Smoker, which is an hour long. It's by Sleep. And it's fascinating. It's an album called Dope Smoker, which has two songs, Dope Smoker and Holy Mountain. Dope Smoker is an hour and 3 minutes, and Holy Mountain is 11 minutes. It's amazing how fucking long that is. It's
Jesus.
basically like, and it's not like a weird trance song, which it's like an electronic loop. Nah, it's an actual band playing for an hour, and it's amazing.
I can't help but feel bad for
Sorry
the people
for
who had to play that. For like, they just had to stand there for an hour, and if they fucked up, like, I don't know, like 40-minute mark, they would be like, well, time to do it
Time to
again.
start again. Yeah, from the top, guys. Let's get it. Nah, but it's really interesting. In studios, what they often do is that I mean, when they're recording an album or whatever, from what I know, they record every instrument separately. And of course, they practice together and everything, but each instrument has a different track. So let's say if the drummer screws up in one part, they can just cover that up by erasing that little part of the drum track and replacing it with a correct one, which is it's really efficient. I guess it's
No,
really
no, yeah,
interesting.
yeah, of course. Like, I don't know if you guys remember every single time that like they play in the assemblies at school. That, like,
Oh
generally
yeah.
speaking, if there's like a singer, their voice always gets drowned out by the music around them. If not, there's always, like, the flute players who you can't hear a single thing of what they're doing.
I don't know who thinks that having a ban on that stupid theater is a good idea.
Well, the problem is with the sound mixing. They
Yeah,
have the microphones, they have the speakers. They just don't have a proper audio engineer or whatever
yeah.
making the
Like, I
vocals
mean,
more.
when there was a music
No.
festival in our school, like,
Yeah.
when there were like actual bands competing, and they were like the battle of the bands essentially, like up there competing
Battle
and
of
all
Bands.
that. All those problems that we're like talking about right now, those didn't happen because, for one thing, there was a lot less people. Also, there was a lot more time dedicated into each and every single person playing. Because, yeah, of course, the school assembly is a lot more informal than and like
Yeah,
competition.
yeah. I'd like to say something real quick though. Like, I think part of the problem, at least with our theater, is like the resonance, the echo.
What does that have to do with museums?
Oh yeah, right. We were in that.
Well,
Oh wait, right,
we're
right, right.
planning
Wait,
on
wait, wait.
using this.
Actually, wait.
Yeah.
Wait, Nico. Okay, I'm sorry. When I said the Tiger King thing, I actually had a point to make with that, and it
Oh yeah.
was
Sorry.
no,
Went
no. Is
really
that
far with that.
I myself forgot about that. Is that the thing is that the justification that he made towards like keeping the tigers was, yeah, that via entertainment you're able to teach people, and in a way, also, I have no idea how these wax experiments work, so I'm most likely 100% wrong. But if you have these like weird, like anatomically correct, like, wax representations of historical figures with like a little caption that describes your thing, there's a much higher possibility that a person is gonna remember that, like the information written there, due to the wax museum person than without the wax museum person.
Yeah, but that being the case, if I shoot someone on the knee and start reading them, I don't know, Charles Dickens' biography, they're gonna remember it because I shot them while I was reading Charles Dickens' biography. I don't think you need a secondary factor as disturbing as wax figures to like
Well, there are
remember
people who like
individuals
it,
like
and I
Christine Lee.
respect.
I
I
feel
can
like
respect that.
I
I'm
feel
just
like
really
wax.
unsettled by the fact they're made out of.
I feel like being
To say,
unsettled by
I
facts,
wanna.
but I feel like being
Wait,
unsettled
you
by
can.
wax figures is significantly less terrifying and influential than getting shot. I don't know about you.
Yeah, it was just a very extreme analogy.
Yeah,
So
it was a
don't
pretty. It was a pretty
don't worry
weird
about it.
comparison.
I'm very good at those.
Anyway, just to say that that I don't hate all museums. There is one museum that I liked in my life. That is also a zoo, by the way, and a um nursery place for snakes. And well, it's a snake museum that's also a snake zoo. It's really good.
I'm
It's
so
in Brazil.
confused.
So that figures. Man, I really like snake. They're just like they can be really scary if they're.
They're
you know,
really scary. If I came across one, I'd be like terrified. But
yeah,
I
but
love
if it's behind
snakes.
the glass, they're honestly beautiful. They're really pretty. Really
Honestly,
pretty
they're
animals,
yeah, they're very
honestly.
cool. Like
I wish I could
actually,
speak
wait.
the
Do aquarium?
language that Harry Potter.
Parcel.
Wait. Do we count aquariums as like this encompassing of museum since they also teach?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
It's
So
kind of
actually, I
museum,
have a
I
brief
guess.
story about
An
that.
exhibition.
Like, I was in Long Beach. I think that's what it's called. Hey, Fed. Did we go to Long Beach or Long Island or whatever? What was it? Okay, so yeah, so Long Island,
Long
California. And the thing is that there was this aquarium at a walking distance, like 2 to 3 blocks. And me and my dad and my sister, we went there one day. Oh my god, it was the most beautiful thing ever. There was this massive exposition full of like a bunch of exotic amphibians. These tiny toads the size of your fingernail, but they were so beautiful. Oh god.
Did you get to see axolotls?
Yes, actually I did. Wait.
Axolots are not.
Wait, no,
that
I didn't
big.
see it. Damn it, no, I did not see it. I remember being disappointed about that. Never mind, I did not see it.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah.
You know, axolotls are technically newts that just well, the axolotl line in itself, the axolotl family, for some reason in their evolution, they said, hey, we could just like stay as like the stage in between being tadpoles and newt. We can just stay there. So they did. And I mean, ever since they evolved to do that, there stopped being axolotl salamanders or newt. However, what's really interesting is that you can force evolution upon them, which is really weird. You gotta give them, I think, a sodium or whatever, and you can make them, no, not evolution, sorry, metamorphosis. It's complicated.
Wait, but what happens once you force that metamorphosis into them?
Huh?
Like, yeah, you said that you can force like metamorphosis
Yeah,
onto
what
them,
happens?
but what happens there?
Well, basically, when a normal newt or salamander goes from being a tadpole to a newt, they go through the middle stage. That is, well, what axolotls are. You know, that weird middle stage with the little gills on the sides of the face.
Yeah.
Well, axolotls have stayed in that level of metamorphosis as species because they don't need to go into newts. So it was more efficient for them in Lake Tlatelolco to stay as those amphibians because I mean it was more the water was more bountiful in the earth, right?
Mm-hmm.
However, if you force metamorphosis upon a axolotl, you do make them complete their metamorphosis. And let me find a picture. I'm just gonna send it to you guys privately, whatever. And we can put a link in the description.
No. I'll just
fascinating.
put in the very same picture on the slide at this like approximate time.
I forgot it's an actual video. So yeah, it's really interesting.
Okay, yeah, that was amazing. Although I'm gonna finish saying what happened in the aquarium. So, yeah, after that I was like just marveled by everything, by seeing cute penguins, and it was great. And after that, we were walking back, and my dad was like, "Hey, do you guys want to see some? Do you guys want to go to Hooters?" And me and my sister were like, "Wait, what?" And he was like, "Yeah, let's go to Hooters." And then he just dragged us in there for the first time. Which, for anybody who doesn't know, Hooters is an establishment that is well known for having women who
display of women that are well toted,
well endowed. I guess that would be the saying.
Well endowed.
Yes.
Gifted by nature.
Okay, stop. So yeah, we went there and we ordered a bunch of hot wings. And I'm not gonna lie, those hot wings were hella good. I'm more than willing to go back there again.
Was it the only hot thing in there?
I mean, I was so embarrassed. I was just looking at the floor the entire time, so I think so.
I would rather die than go to my dad to Hooters. Hooters seems like a place you go with, like,
What's
I don't know,
Hooters?
friends or you.
We just said it. It's a restaurant whose entire purpose is that it has.
Wait, what?
Let me
What?
What?
say it very simply. It's a restaurant in which all the waitresses have really big tits, and that's the whole shtick.
But is the food good?
I
I
mean,
guess it's
in
like a
my case,
TGI, right? For an Applebee's.
the hot wings that we ate there, like I mean, they were delicious. They were amazing.
I
So
just
at least my
I
experience
just
was
feel
good there.
like
But also,
that
just so you
place.
know, I was not willing to go there at all. My dad had been trying to force me for like a week before to go to Hooters, and I kept on coming up with excuses. At that point, I didn't have anything else under my sleeve.
Hey, well, I mean, at least you got the experience. I've never been to Hooters, and I don't think I ever plan to, because a decency is something I appreciate, at least in myself. But
What?
I mean, there's
I
nothing
feel
wrong
like
with
I feel like that's
going.
a massive paradox in regards to your how do I say it, your personality.
Well, I'm good at that. I'm an ambiguous being, I guess. I go from being all righteous and correct to not doing anything respectable to be very general about it.
Okay, okay. So going back to the topic of museums. So I mean,
Yes,
yeah, I
sorry.
remember going to a natural history museum when I was 10. I think it was. Yeah, I was in fifth grade. So yeah, right around 10 years old, and I was marveled by the whole stuff. But I was also like 10 years old, and you know how come 10-year-olds are super whiny and all that.
10-year-olds are 10, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So the thing is that I couldn't really appreciate the beauty of the Natural History Museum because my feet were hurting all the time and I just wanted to go and like eat some pizza.
You know what happened to me, man?
What?
Similar story, but worse. I was whiny. You want to know where?
Where?
Because my feet hurt. In the Hermitage, the Russian king's palace. I was like, Dad, my feet hurt. It's like
What the
10.
hell?
I'll go into why I was in Russia another day. That's a story.
Oh,
It's a really fun story. But I
oh,
went to Russia once, and I was whining in the Hermitage. The most, I think, like, how can you call it? Probably one of the most beautiful palaces ever from one of the most rich emperors in history. Well, Tsar. And I was just whining because my feet hurt.
hmm.
It was weird.
Yeah. Oh wait, actually, quick thing. Like, I once went to Washington D.C. I can't remember the exact year, and it was great. Like we were like right around 2 blocks away from the White House, and there were a bunch of museums all over the place. So yeah, you could go visit them, and it was cool. But then for some reason, my freaking dad forced me to go to the Holocaust Museum.
Oh no. Oh gee.
Yeah,
You know,
let's just say I wasn't the only teenager who was crying openly.
I can't imagine. Those are made to make you feel bad because we gotta learn from our mistake. The one in Berlin is brutal, man, and it's supposed to be like that.
Yeah, it was honestly so heart wrenching. I just wanted to cry. Well, no, I actually did cry to be honest.
You know what's
There, it was
also a really
horrible.
heartbreaking museum? There's this one museum in Berlin too, which is about the two sides of Berlin.
Mm-hmm.
And overall, the museum is mostly about people, how people went from the east side to the west side, from the German, I think it was Soviet Republic or whatever,
Yeah, yeah.
to West Germany. So I mean, it was just heartbreaking what people did. It was heartbreaking and inspiring in a weird mix. Because people did like, how do you call that? Like air balloons,
Mm-hmm.
aerostatic balloons. They used those. This one guy, no, this one woman hid her baby in a suitcase. This one guy, like, basically put himself under a car. It's a tale of resolve and hardship, and it's amazing.
Oh God. Okay, yeah. Berlin is like I feel so bad for everything that Berlin went through during like the post World War II 20th century.
But they've endured even before World War II. Like after the First World War, Germany was completely destroyed by the Allies, who said, "Hey, pay us reparation, buddy,
Yeah.
and a lot of it. You're the only enemy standing." So, well, that happened. And I mean, once again, I want to go back to the quote I said last time. Hard times bring Wait, let me find that quote. Hard times create chaos. Chaos creates I can't find it. Give me a second, I'm sorry. Here. Hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times. Germans have had a lot of hard times. But what has that made in exchange? It has made strong men, which have led to good times, and it seems they haven't had many weak men yet.
Wait, using World War
And
One
it's
as an example, I feel like
I'm-
that's a little bit counterintuitive considering the fact that it led to the rise of Nazism, and then
they were, you see, Hitler took power when Germany was at its weakest in terms of democracy, because he basically, talked his way into becoming feudal.
okay, yeah.
Because, he talked about German pride and blaming someone else. And, he might have been an awful person, but that guy was smart. Once again, hard times create strong men. Strong does not mean good. And great does not mean ethical or not. Hitler was a strong man, and he took power smartly. But then, the fall of his regime and all the horrors he did created, bad times. But after that, Germany rose from the ashes once again.
Okay, that opinion is very controversial, and I could really go in depth with a lot of different stuff against it, but unfortunately, we have run out of time. Okay?
Oh, no. Oh,
Yeah,
well.
sadly. So,
Sorry.
does anybody have
I'm
some like
sorry.
final remarks?
I think I talked enough today.
Although, okay, I'm just gonna quickly address that. Like, I mean, in a way, you're right, but the thing is that one thing that many historians agree on, I wouldn't say all of them, but many, is that even he was strong in the sense that he was moderately charismatic and he was able to incite the German people into working. But the thing is that in terms of economic
Yeah.
reforms, it really wasn't all that spectacular what he did. But the feeling of rising the feeling of nationalistic pride in a country that was completely and utterly destroyed, that is impressive.
He was strategic about it. That's what, made him so efficient, I guess. But that could be a topic for another day.
Yeah.
Just Hitler, I guess. That doesn't make us look too good, does it?
I mean, considering our first episode, I really don't see how we can go lower than that. So.
I tell you what, we're already a rock bottom, baby.
Yeah.
Keep it going.
Yeah, that's a good thing about starting in the garbage. Okay. Well.
Yeah.
This has been a very interesting episode on museums. Somehow we got into Hitler, somehow we got into Hooters, and I hope you guys all enjoyed it. This was Eden with Superego signing off. Bye bye.